The child's voice cracked through the silence. "It's not safe here." The soldier froze mid-step. Behind him, the K9 didn't move. Its ears were sharp, body still, nose locked on the darkness ahead. The soldier's hand hovered over the old door handle, breath fogging in the freezing air. He turned, eyes narrowing. "What did you hear?" The child's lips trembled. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's chest burned. He steadied the rifle in his hands. The dog remained frozen, staring at something unseen. To know why they stopped there, why the child whispered and the dog stood still, "We need to go back." Back to the moment they first stepped inside. The door groaned. And what waited behind it would change everything. The building loomed like a husk against the storm, its windows gaping black and jagged, frames warped from years of frost. Snow drifted in through every opening, filling corners with pale heaps that swallowed sound. The soldier pressed one hand against the doorframe, the wood splintered and damp beneath his glove. His rifle angled down but ready, its cold steel resting against his shoulder. The child's voice cracked the silence. "It's not safe here." The words weren't loud. They weren't even meant as warning. They slipped out in a whisper, the kind born of memory more than fear. The soldier froze mid-step. His chest tightened against the weight of those 4 words. He turned slightly, the beam of his flashlight sweeping across the child crouched behind him. Her face was pale, cheeks reddened by the cold, strands of hair frozen into small clumps of ice. Her hands clutched the thick black fur of the K9 pressed against her side. The dog stood motionless. Still. Its body rigid, ears sharp, nose pointing toward the corridor ahead. It didn't move. Didn't whine. Didn't even blink. Its amber eyes fixed into the dark as though it had already chosen not to follow. The soldier narrowed his eyes. "What did you hear?" The child shook her head quickly, too quickly. Her lips trembled, but no new words came. Only her whisper, softer this time, repeated like an echo already inside her. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's pulse quickened. He crouched lower, adjusting the rifle strap across his chest. His voice steadied, though his gut told him there was more weight in her words than she let on. "Who?" She pressed her face into the dog's fur, refusing to meet his eyes. Her small hands tightened on its collar until her knuckles turned white. "Don't let him find me." The K9's growl rolled low, a vibration that traveled through the floorboards. Its stance didn't shift. It stayed still, nose twitching, tail stiff, eyes locked into the void of the corridor. The soldier had trained with this dog through war zones, through ambushes, through fire and water. Never had he seen it hesitate, never had it stood this still. The soldier swallowed hard, forcing air past the lump in his throat. His breath fogged white, rising and vanishing before it reached the ceiling. He scanned the hall beyond, walls fractured with water stains, wallpaper torn and peeling, snow pressed against broken frames. Nothing moved. Nothing stirred. Yet the silence felt wrong, too heavy, as if something pressed against it from the other side. He shifted his weight, boots crunching frost. His rifle rose higher, the flashlight beam trembling just enough to reveal his tension. "Stay behind me," he muttered. The child whimpered, her whisper breaking into the same refrain, fragile, uncertain. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's jaw tightened. He had heard confessions like this before, on nights in villages where shadows held more danger than gunfire. Children who had run. Children who had hidden. Children who whispered truths adults tried to bury. He wasn't sure if her words were prophecy or memory. Either way, they carried weight. The K9's growl deepened. The soldier steadied his stance, pressing his shoulder against the wall. His finger brushed the trigger guard, rifle sight aligned with the darkness ahead. He forced his breath to slow, in through the nose, out through the mouth, anchoring himself in the rhythm he'd drilled 1,000 times. Then it came. A sound. Faint. Barely more than the shift of a floorboard under weight. The soldier's body stiffened. His eyes narrowed into the beam of light. He had cleared too many buildings to mistake a storm settling wood for something else. Someone, or something, was inside. The child clutched tighter to the dog. Her whisper cracked louder now, laced with urgency. "Don't let him find me." The soldier raised his hand behind him, signaling silence. The canine didn't move. Didn't bark. Just stood still, muscles rigid, eyes locked ahead. That stillness was answer enough. The soldier leaned forward, flashlight beam pressing deeper into the corridor. A door at the far end swayed slightly on rusted hinges, the wind pushing it open and shut with slow rhythm. Each creak stretched long, scraping the silence. But then, something else. A shadow slipping across the crack between the door and its frame. Deliberate. Not storm. Not accident. The soldier's pulse slammed in his chest. His rifle snapped into position, sight aligned. His breath steadied once more. "Who's there?" His voice carried hard into the corridor, echoing off fractured walls. No reply. Only the door creaking, opening wider, closing again. The canine gave a short, sharp huff through its nose. Its stance didn't change. Still frozen. But that sound meant only one thing, confirmed. The child whimpered louder, her whisper spiraling now, frantic. "Don't let him find me. Don't let him find me." The soldier exhaled through his nose. His fingers slid into the trigger well. He took one step forward. The floor groaned beneath his boot. The door at the end slammed shut with violent force, the sound echoing through the entire building. Dust rained from the rafters. Snow fell from cracks above, scattering in fine white bursts. The child screamed, clutching at the dog's collar. The soldier's rifle sight locked on the door. His flashlight beam cut across the frame. His pulse thundered in his ears. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was waiting. The soldier inhaled once, slow and steady. He whispered more to himself than anyone else. "We're not alone." The canine's growl rolled louder, chest vibrating like a drum, but still it refused to move. The soldier's body locked tight. His finger curled against the trigger. And then it came, another whisper. Not hers. Not his. From the other side of the door. "Help me!" The child shrieked, pulling at the dog's collar, her cry breaking raw. "No! Don't! Don't let him find me!" The soldier froze. His breath caught. The sound had been human, fragile, pleading. But the girl's terror wasn't random, it was absolute. He steadied his rifle, every muscle taut, his voice cutting harsh into the waiting silence. "If you were in my boots, would you open that door?" The canine didn't move. And the whisper came again. "Help me. Open." The soldier's finger rested on the trigger, the rifle sight fixed on the door at the end of the corridor. The whisper hung in the cold air like a thread of smoke. "Help me." It was faint, fragile, carrying the weight of pain. A sound he had heard too many times in too many places, men pinned under rubble, civilians trapped behind collapsed walls. His instinct screamed to answer, to move forward. But the child's cry pulled sharper than any duty. "Don't! Don't let him find me!" Her small body shook against the canine, clutching its collar as though it were the only anchor in a shifting world. The canine's growl rumbled, chest vibrating like a warning drum. Its ears pointed dead at the door, eyes unblinking, body still rigid. It hadn't advanced. It hadn't retreated. It simply stayed still, rooted to the floor as if moving would break something sacred. The soldier pressed his back against the wall, shifting his angle. His flashlight beam wavered across the frame, cutting shadows into sharp shapes. The hinges trembled in the wind. The door didn't open again. He whispered into the dark, voice low but steady. "Who's there?" For a moment, only silence. Then the voice again, softer, cracking on the edge of breath. "Help me." His jaw clenched. His finger twitched near the trigger. The tone was too real, too raw, to dismiss. The child's whisper overlapped, fragile and trembling. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's breath stilled. The two voices, hers and the one behind the door, layered together until it felt like they weren't coming from two different throats but from the same shadow stretching across the building. He crouched lower, motioning with one hand. "Stay here." The child whimpered, shaking her head violently. "Don't leave me." The soldier's chest burned. He met her eyes for a fraction of a second. They were wide, glossy with tears, but beneath them sat a depth he recognized. Not just fear. Experience. She wasn't imagining. She remembered. The canine broke his focus with one short huff, snapping his gaze forward. The dog's stance hadn't shifted, but its nose twitched harder now, pulling in scents the soldier couldn't know. It still refused to move forward. That stillness, that certainty, chilled him more than the whisper. He slid along the wall, boots crunching frost under every step. The light steadied on the door. He pressed his shoulder tighter to the stone, rifle sight fixed. "Come out slow," he ordered, voice sharp. No reply. The hinges groaned. The door shifted an inch, not pushed by wind this time. A deliberate nudge, just enough to let the darkness breathe. The soldier's breath hitched. His rifle steadied. Then, a hand. Pale, dirt-streaked, trembling fingers curling around the frame, dragging it wider. "Help me." The voice cracked again, louder now. The child screamed behind him. "No! Don't listen." The soldier's muscles locked. The hand pushed the door wider, the wood creaking under strain. More of the figure emerged, shoulder, arm, the slope of a gaunt body. Hair hung in clumps, frozen against skin that looked too pale, too thin. The man staggered into the frame, leaning heavy against the door, chest rising in shallow rattles. His clothes were torn, soaked dark in places where frost had melted into blood. His eyes lifted, wild and hollow, burning with something desperate. "Help me," he rasped again, voice tearing raw through his throat. The soldier's rifle locked on him, finger brushing the trigger. His voice cut hard. "Stay where you are." The man coughed, his body shaking. He staggered one step forward, leaving a smear of blood against the frame. The child's scream fractured into sobs. "Don't let him find me. Don't let him." The soldier's breath stuttered. His focus darted between the man's broken figure and the girl's plea. The canine barked once, loud, violent, decisive. Its body trembled, growl rising into fury, but still it refused to move forward. Still frozen. The man lifted his hand, blood dripping from his fingers. His lips cracked into a broken grin. "You can't stop me." The soldier's chest tightened. His rifle sight steadied on the man's heart. The girl's voice cracked raw, splitting through the air. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's breath caught. For a second, the two voices overlapped, the man's plea, the child's warning. "Help me. Don't let him find me." They spun together until he couldn't separate them. The canine snarled, lunging against the harness, teeth snapping at the air, fury barely contained. The man staggered forward another step, his eyes burning brighter. "Help me." The soldier shouted, voice rough, pulled between instinct and warning. "Stay back." The man tilted his head, his grin widening, teeth streaked with red. "I found you." The child's scream ripped the corridor apart. Her whisper shredded into panic. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's rifle pressed harder against his shoulder. His finger curled. The canine barked once, sharp, final. The man's body lurched forward. And the soldier had a decision to make. The man's words cut through the air like a blade. "I found you." The soldier's chest burned, rifle sight locked on the gaunt figure staggering into the hall. The child's sobs shook the corridor, her whisper spinning louder, frantic. "Don't let him find me, don't let him find me." The canine bristled, its growl rumbling deep, body stiff as stone. It didn't advance. It didn't retreat. Its stillness was sharper than a snarl, an answer the soldier couldn't ignore. The man stumbled closer, dragging his foot across frost, leaving streaks of blood with every step. His lips cracked into a grin that didn't fit the tremor in his voice. "Help me." The soldier steadied the rifle, forcing his breath even. His voice carried steel. "Stay back." The man froze mid-step. His head tilted, eyes wide and burning, his chest heaving. His hands trembled at his sides, raw and bloodied. For a second, he looked broken. Human. Then his grin widened, and his voice tore out jagged. "You can't keep her." The girl's scream fractured the silence. She pressed herself deeper against the canine, clutching its collar so tight the leather groaned under her fists. Her whisper spilled out faster now, no longer fragile but urgent, panicked. "Don't let him find me. Don't let him find me." The soldier's pulse thundered in his ears. He had cleared ambushes in dark alleys, walked into traps built to catch him alive. But this wasn't like that. This was something different, an enemy whose weapon wasn't firepower but fear itself. The canine barked once, the sound ricocheting like gunfire. Its body stayed rooted, but its fury built in the growl that followed, vibrating through the boards. The soldier's finger curled against the trigger. His eyes narrowed. "What do you want with her?" The man's head tilted further, the smile spreading wide across his pale, cracked lips. "She's mine." The words snapped sharp. No hesitation. No plea. Just certainty. The girl screamed louder, her small voice breaking. "Daddy, no! Don't let him!" The soldier's heart slammed against his ribs. That word again. She had called him Daddy without thinking, clinging to him not because of blood but because she had no one else. The weight of it anchored him even as the storm built. "Help me!" The whisper layered again, this time not only from the man's mouth. It echoed from the walls, slipping through cracks in the ceiling, curling up from the floorboards beneath. "Help me! Help me!" The soldier's vision blurred as the words overlapped, circling until direction was lost. He pressed his weight harder into the rifle, grounding himself in its steel. The canine barked once more, sharp, decisive. Its nose twitched at the floorboards, ears pinned forward. The stillness wasn't hesitation, it was waiting. The soldier shouted into the roar, voice raw. "Stay away from her." The man coughed, blood spattering against the frost, but his grin didn't falter. His voice cracked through the chorus of whispers. "She'll run again. And I'll find her. I always do." The girl sobbed, her words splintering into screams. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's throat burned. His body tensed. He had seconds to choose. He fired. The rifle cracked, muzzle flash cutting the dark. The man jerked backward, blood spraying from his shoulder. He slammed against the frame, collapsing half onto the floor. The girl shrieked at the sound. The canine barked furiously, teeth snapping at the air. The soldier steadied his sight, breath locked. The man writhed against the boards, his chest heaving in broken gasps. His grin faltered but didn't vanish. "Help me!" The whisper cracked louder, not from his lips but from the beams above, from the boards below. "Help me! Don't leave me! Please!" The soldier's breath stuttered. His rifle stayed trained, but the voices pressed harder, circling like a storm. The K9 snarled, straining at the harness. Its fury grew sharper, but it still didn't move forward. The stillness wasn't retreat, it was defiance. The girl sobbed into the dog's fur, her words collapsing into fragments. "Don't let him, don't let him." The man coughed again, blood streaking his chin. His head rolled back, his grin returning. His voice rasped, guttural. "Found you." The soldier's jaw locked. He pressed harder into the rifle. "Not while I'm here." The whispers surged louder, fractured into dozens, circling faster until they split into distortion. "Help me, help me, help me. Don't leave me. Help." The soldier's knees buckled against the weight of sound. His vision swam, ears ringing, chest tight. The K9 barked once more, anchoring him, cutting through the storm like a flare. The soldier's breath steadied. His voice tore through the roar. "You don't get her." The man's eyes rolled back, his grin stretching into something twisted. His voice cracked one final time. "You'll have to choose." The soldier's chest turned to stone. His breath froze. His rifle sight locked on the writhing figure. The girl's scream pierced sharper than the storm. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's finger pressed. The shot lit the corridor again. The man's body jerked violently, slamming into the boards. The whispers screamed in chorus, rising higher, breaking into static. "Help me! Help me! Help me!" The K9 lunged at the end of its harness, fury unchained, teeth snapping at nothing. The soldier's ears rang. His chest heaved. The man's body lay still now, blood pooling across frost. The child clutched the dog tighter, rocking. Her whisper cracked one last time, softer, fragile. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's rifle stayed trained. His breath came ragged. And in the silence that followed, he heard it again. Not from the man. From beneath the floor. "Help me." The silence pressed against the soldier's chest, thick and waiting. His rifle sight remained trained on the limp body sprawled across the frost, blood pooling beneath. But the whisper that slithered into the corridor wasn't from that mouth. "Help me." It came from below. The soldier stiffened. His eyes flicked to the floorboards, cracked and uneven beneath his boots. Frost webbed across them like veins, shifting with every breath. He lowered the flashlight, the beam slicing across wood warped from years of cold. The K9's growl deepened, chest vibrating against the silence. It pressed its nose low, ears pinned forward, eyes fixed on the floor. Its entire body trembled, not from fear, but from restraint. It didn't move forward. Didn't attack. It stayed still, anchoring itself like stone, staring into the boards as if it already knew what hid beneath. The child clutched the dog tighter, her sobs breaking into shallow whispers. "Don't let him find me." The soldier's throat tightened. He crouched lower, his breath fogging white, drifting into the cracks in the boards. He had cleared bunkers, searched tunnels, dragged men from beneath collapsed walls. He knew what it was like to hear voices from below. But never like this. "Help me." The voice cracked louder now, urgent, direct. The soldier's grip on the rifle tightened. He steadied his breath, whispering through clenched teeth. "Who are you?" Silence answered first. Then another whisper. "Help me." The boards groaned, nails squealing against the strain, dust raining down from the ceiling with the vibration. The child wailed, burying her face into the K9's fur. "Don't listen. Please don't listen. He'll find me again." The soldier forced his voice steady, though his chest ached. "You know him." Her tears streaked down her cheeks, her lips trembling as she whispered. "He kept me here. He said even if I ran, he'd hear me whisper." The soldier's jaw locked. His rifle rose higher. The boards beneath him shuddered, the sound reverberating like a heartbeat. The canine barked once, loud, decisive. Its body braced harder, claws scraping against frost. It refused to advance, but its stillness felt heavier now, like warning, like defiance. "Help me!" The voice slammed into the corridor, urgent and raw, cracking with command more than plea. The sound rattled the beams above, shaking snow loose in fine bursts. The soldier staggered, one knee hitting the boards. His ears rang from the force of it. His vision blurred. The man's body on the floor twitched. Just once. Enough to wrench his stomach into knots. The soldier swung his rifle sight back to it, his pulse hammering. The grin had returned. Wide. Bloodied. Wrong. The man's lips moved, rasping through broken teeth. "You can't stop me." The soldier's chest burned. He fired. The blast tore through the silence, echoing like thunder. The man's head snapped back, blood sprang across the frost. His body collapsed limp once more. But the voice didn't stop. "Help me!" It rose sharper now, circling through the walls, bursting from beneath the boards, vibrating the corridor until the nails rattled loose. The child screamed, hands pressed over her ears. "Please! Don't listen!" The soldier's breath came ragged, his rifle clutched tight. His body wanted to move, to tear the hatch open and drag whatever was inside out of the dark. But the girl's fear and the dog's stillness cut deeper than duty. The canine barked once more, violent, its muzzle pressed close to the boards, body rigid, immovable. Its amber eyes didn't leave the cracks. "Help me!" The voice slammed again, urgent, demanding, like orders barked in combat. The soldier flinched, his breath stuttering. The child's whisper cracked raw through the storm. "Don't let him find me." The soldier crouched lower, whispering through his teeth. "You don't get her." The boards convulsed beneath his boots. Splinters cracked. Blood seeped up through the gaps, dark streaks staining the frost. The soldier's stomach turned. He pulled the girl tighter behind him, pressing her into the canine's flank. The dog anchored her, its chest vibrating with a growl that seemed to hold the whole building up. "Help me!" The whisper shattered into a scream, so loud the boards splintered outward. Pale fingers clawed up through the cracks, skin torn, nails jagged. They scraped the floor, dragging grooves through wood and frost. The girl shrieked, covering her face. The soldier's rifle sight locked. His finger curled. The man's body on the floor twitched again, blood bubbling from his lips, his grin splitting wider. "Found you." The child's scream broke into words that tore her throat. "Don't let him find me." The canine barked furiously, lunging against the harness, but still didn't advance, its body rooted, its stillness holding the line. The soldier's chest heaved, his pulse hammering against his ribs. The pale fingers clawed wider, another hand forcing through the boards. The floor split, groaning under the strain. The soldier's finger pressed harder against the trigger. His voice cracked through the storm. "You don't touch her. Help me!" The scream tore through the corridor, shaking dust loose from rafters, rattling frost from the ceiling. The pale hands clawed higher, dragging shoulders through the split. The soldier's breath caught. His vision sharpened. And just before he fired, the girl's whisper cracked again, softer, almost broken. "Daddy, please." The soldier froze. His finger hesitated. And the floor split wider. The boards groaned under his boots, splintering wider with every second. Pale hands clawed at the cracks, jagged nails raking deep into the frost-streaked wood. Blood smeared across the boards, dripping into lines that spread outward like veins. The soldier's rifle sight locked on the widening split. His pulse thundered. He pressed his shoulder tighter into the stock, finger trembling against the trigger. His breath fogged white into the air, vanishing into the storm of sound. Help me! The voice thundered from beneath the boards, urgent and raw, louder than the gunshot he had just fired. The sound shook dust loose from the rafters, rattling the rusted frames of long-forgotten bunks. The child's scream tore through the corridor, sharp and desperate. She clutched the K9's collar, her words spiraling into panic. "Don't let him find me! Don't let him find me!" The K9 bristled, its growl rolling like a living drum. Its body remained rigid, rooted in stillness, but its fury vibrated through every bone. Its eyes burned into the floor, unflinching. The soldier's throat tightened. He had seen men pinned beneath rubble, crying for rescue. He had torn children from basements where walls pressed tighter by the second. The plea for help had always been his call to action. But now, the girl's terror cut through him sharper than the voice. Her whisper cracked again, soft but certain. "Don't let him find me." The soldier steadied his stance, whispering under his breath like an oath. "He won't." The boards convulsed, wood splitting wide. A shoulder forced through, skin pale and raw, hair matted with blood. The figure writhed upward, dragging itself into the corridor. The soldier fired. The rifle's blast tore through the storm, muzzle flash lighting the split. The figure jerked, blood spraying against the frost. But still it climbed. "Help me!" The scream came louder now, urgent, commanding. The K9 barked furiously, straining against the harness, jaws snapping inches from the pale arm forcing upward. Its teeth clamped down on splinters, shaking them loose, but the dog's body refused to break its position. Stillness became defiance, refusal. The soldier's jaw clenched. He fired again. Another shot slammed into the figure, tearing through its chest. Blood sprayed wider, streaking the boards. The man's grin faltered but didn't vanish. His eyes locked on the girl, burning with recognition. "She's mine," he rasped. The girl's sob broke into a scream that shattered her throat. "Daddy, don't let him." The soldier's chest tore open with her words. His arms shook with recoil, but he pressed harder into the rifle, anchoring himself to its weight. The whisper surged louder, splitting into overlapping voices that filled the corridor. "Help me! Don't leave me! Help me!" The sound fractured into a storm of pleas, circling, pressing in from every direction. The soldier's ears rang, his vision blurring under the weight of noise. The K9 barked once more, anchoring him. The sharp crack of sound steadied his chest, reminded him of ground beneath his boots. The soldier shouted into the roar, voice raw. "You don't get her!" The figure pushed higher, shoulders breaking through the split. Its arms clawed the floor, dragging its torso into the light. Its chest heaved, blood pouring, but its grin widened. "I always find her." The girl wailed louder, tears streaking down her cheeks, voice splitting into whispers. "Don't let him find me." The soldier steadied his rifle, his breath shaking. His voice tore from his throat. "Not this time." He fired. The blast snapped the figure's head back. Blood spattered the boards, painting frost in dark streaks. For a moment, silence. Then laughter. Wet. Broken. Crawling across the corridor. "Help me!" The voice surged again, louder than before, sharper. The boards shuddered beneath the soldier's knees. Nails snapped free, scattering across the frost. Dust rained from the rafters, coating the floor in pale gray. The K9 lunged again, its bark violent, teeth flashing. Its growl rolled deeper, vibrating against the soldier's chest like a warning drum. The soldier's throat burned. His body wanted to move, to drag the girl out, to retreat into the storm outside. But his duty kept him frozen, rifle steady. The child sobbed into the dog's fur, her whisper cracking one last time, fragile but certain. "He'll never stop." The soldier exhaled hard, breath fogging thick in the freezing air. His voice came out rough, but steady. Then neither will I. The boards split wider. More hands forced through, clawing upward. The corridor shook with the weight of it. The soldier's stomach turned to stone. His finger curled again. His sight locked on the dark. "Help me!" The voices crashed louder, overlapping into chaos, until they became a wall of sound. The K9 barked once more, loud enough to cut through the storm. The soldier's chest heaved. He shouted above it all, his voice raw. "If you were in my place, would you fire, or would you wait?" The girl's sobs tore into silence. The figure dragged itself higher. And the soldier pressed his rifle tighter. The rifle's echo still rattled the corridor, rolling off broken beams and empty rooms. Smoke drifted in pale curls from the muzzle, fading into the frost that clung to every surface. The soldier's chest heaved, every breath burning against his ribs. But the figure didn't fall. It pushed higher, blood pouring from wounds that should have ended it. Its hands tore at the boards, pulling with frantic force, splinters embedding deep in its skin. The grin never wavered. "Help me!" The voice split the silence, louder, sharper, urgent. It rattled the bunks against the walls, shook loose nails from beams above. The girl shrieked, clutching the K9 with all her strength. Her cry splintered into a single plea. "Daddy, don't let him take me." The soldier's stomach nodded. Her voice cracked through him more than the whisper did. He steadied his rifle, his voice raw. "Not while I'm here." The K9 barked furiously, the sounds snapping through the storm like gunfire. Its body braced low, claws scraping long gouges into the frost-covered boards. Its teeth snapped inches from the pale hand clawing through the floor. The figure writhed higher. Shoulders forced through, chest splitting against broken wood. Blood streaked across the frost, soaking the boards black. "Help me!" The voices multiplied now, not one but dozens, echoing from the walls, the ceiling, the floor. Each repetition layered over the last until it wasn't just heard, it was felt, pressing into bone, vibrating his skull. The soldier staggered, teeth clenched against the sound. He had felt mortar shells slam into ground, had survived buildings collapsing on top of him. But never had noise itself buckled his knees. The child screamed louder, voice breaking. "He hears me. He'll take me again." The soldier's throat burned. He forced his voice over the roar, steady, sharp. "He won't touch you." The K9 barked once more, violent, final. Its fury anchored him against the weight of sound. The figure clawed free of the floor, dragging its body onto the boards. It collapsed to its knees, chest heaving, blood soaking its shirt. Its head tilted, eyes burning with recognition as they locked on the girl. "She's mine," it rasped. The girl's scream shattered into sobs. She buried her face into the dog's fur, her whisper broken but steady. "Don't let him find me." The soldier fired. The rifle cracked, flash blinding in the dim corridor. The figure jerked, chest snapping back with impact. Blood sprayed across the frost. But the grin didn't falter. "Help me!" The voices screamed louder, pressing so hard the boards vibrated under his boots. The K9 lunged, jaws clamping on the figure's arm. Its teeth tore flesh, blood spurting across the floor. The dog snarled, shaking violently, ripping muscle free. The figure didn't scream. It laughed. Wet. Broken. Crawling. The soldier's blood iced. His finger curled again. He fired. Another blast tore through the figure's chest. The body jerked, slammed back onto the boards. Blood sprayed wide. For a moment, silence. Then whispers, fractured, urgent. "Help me! Help me! Help me!" They came from the walls, the floor, the ceiling. Not from the body. Not anymore. The soldier's chest heaved. His rifle stayed locked on the broken figure. But his gut told him the fight wasn't with flesh. The boards groaned again, splitting wider. More pale hands clawed upward from the dark. Fingers curled around broken edges, nails scraping grooves. The girl shrieked, collapsing against the K9. Her words fractured. "Don't let him find me. Please." The soldier steadied his rifle, voice tearing raw. "You don't get her. Help me." The chorus screamed, dozens of voices overlapping, crashing together until the corridor rattled. The soldier's vision blurred. Sweat slid cold down his spine despite the freezing air. The K9 barked once, anchoring him again. He staggered, pressing the girl closer against the dog, shielding her with his own body. His voice cut through the roar. "You'll have to go through me." The whispers fractured louder, circling faster. "Help me. Don't leave me. Help me. She's mine. Help me." The figure on the floor twitched. Its head snapped upward, eyes burning, grin spreading wider despite the ruin of its body. "You'll never choose her over me." The soldier's chest turned to stone. His finger curled against the trigger. The girl's scream cut through, desperate. "Choose me, Daddy. Please." The soldier fired. The blast echoed down the corridor. The figure's head jerked back, blood spraying across the frost. Its grin stayed. "Help me." The voices screamed once more, louder, harsher, urgent. The floor split again. More hands clawed upward. The boards cracked, threatening to collapse beneath their weight. The soldier's heart slammed. His breath came ragged. His rifle barrel smoked. He had seconds. Maybe less. The K9 lunged, snapping at the hands clawing through the cracks. Its growls rattled the corridor. The girl sobbed into its fur, whispering softer now, broken but pleading. "Don't let him take me." The soldier pressed harder into the rifle. His voice cut like steel. "Not while I'm breathing." The whispers screamed back, louder than thunder. "Help me." The boards buckled. Frost cracked. And the soldier realized this wasn't about holding the line. This was about choosing where to make his stand. The boards buckled beneath the soldier's boots, groaning like the ribs of a sinking ship. Splinters snapped loose, scattering across the frost-streaked corridor. The hatch that wasn't a hatch, just floorboards torn wide, gaped open into darkness below. From it, the storm rose. "Help me, help me, help me." Dozens of voices this time, overlapping, fractured. Each cry bent against the next until they no longer sounded like pleas but like commands. The air quivered under the sound, pressing into his ears, his skull, his chest. The soldier staggered, boots sliding against ice. His rifle stayed locked, but his vision swam under the weight of noise. He gritted his teeth, forcing his breath steady. He had heard artillery shells, mortar rounds, the collapse of entire walls. But never had sound itself threatened to break him. The K9 barked violently, lunging against the harness. Its claws tore long gouges into the boards, teeth snapping inches from the hands clawing upward. Blood flecked its muzzle, foam at the edges of its lips. Still it held its ground, body rigid, anchored. Its fury was undeniable, but its stillness was unshakable. The girl clung to the dog, her sobs cracking her throat raw. Her whispers spilled out in rhythm with the storm, trembling but insistent. "Don't let him find me, don't let him find me." The soldier crouched lower, pulling her tighter behind him. His voice cracked through the noise, steady though his chest shook. "You're safe. He won't touch you. Help me." The voices overlapped again, sharper, faster, twisting together into a wall of distortion. "Help me, help me, help me." The sound pressed harder, until his knees buckled. He caught himself with one hand against the wall, rifle never dropping. Sweat slid cold down his temple, freezing against his skin. The figure on the floor twitched again. Its ruined chest rose with rattling gasps, its head tilting upward, lips still curved in that bloodied grin. "You can't stop me," it rasped, voice cracking with laughter that wasn't laughter. The soldier's jaw locked. He raised the rifle, sight aimed dead at its head. His voice tore out like thunder. "Watch me." He fired. The blast lit the corridor, throwing shadows sharp against the walls. The figure's skull snapped back, blood spraying. Its body collapsed, motionless. But the whispers didn't stop. "Help me. Don't leave me. Help me, help me, help me." They circled harder now, bouncing off the beams until it felt like the walls themselves screamed. The K9 barked again, louder, sharper, anchoring the soldier. He pressed his shoulder tighter into the stock, his voice a roar over the storm. "I said, you don't touch her." The hatch convulsed. More hands clawed upward. Arms pale and bloody dragged themselves through the splintered boards. Faces flickered in the dark, half-formed, grinning with jagged teeth. The girl's scream tore through it all. "Daddy, please." The soldier's throat burned. He fired again. The shot slammed into one of the hands. Blood spattered across the frost, the limb jerking before dissolving back into the dark. But another replaced it instantly, clawing upward with relentless hunger. "Help me. Choose." The words slipped sharp through the storm, almost lost in the chaos but louder in his bones. "Choose." The soldier froze. His breath caught. The K9 barked violently, dragging him back. "Help me. Choose. Help me. Choose." The two refrains twisted together now, circling faster, louder, until they became indistinguishable. "Help me or choose." The soldier's chest turned to ice. His finger trembled on the trigger. He had spent his life following orders, clear, absolute. But this command wasn't his to follow. The girl's sobs cracked into words, fragile but sharp. "Don't choose him. Daddy, please don't." The soldier's throat closed. His vision sharpened through the blur. He steadied the rifle, his voice a growl. "I already chose." The hatch screamed open wider. The corridor shook. Dust rained from beams. Pale faces pressed harder against the edges, mouths gaping, eyes wide. "Help me. Choose. Help me. Choose." The soldier's breath came ragged. His pulse hammered. He dragged the girl closer, pressed her into the K9's flank. The dog braced, rigid, eyes never leaving the dark. The soldier whispered into the roar, not just to her but to himself. "I'll never give you up." The whispers screamed back, louder, fractured into chaos. "Help me, help me, help me. Choose, choose, choose. Don't leave me. She's mine." The soldier's ears rang. His vision spun. His knees buckled. But he pressed harder into the rifle, anchoring himself in its steel. The K9 lunged again, jaws snapping inches from the pale faces pushing upward. Its growl rattled the corridor, louder than the storm itself. The soldier steadied his breath. His voice roared. "If you were here, would you believe the whispers, or the dog?" The floor convulsed again. Pale arms surged higher. And the voices screamed one final time, fractured into distortion that shook the world around them. "Choose." The word thundered through the corridor like a hammer strike. "Choose." It wasn't a whisper anymore. It was a command. The soldier's chest rattled with the force of it, his lungs seizing under the weight. His boots slid against the frost-slick boards as if the sound itself tried to shove him backward. He jammed his shoulder harder against the rifle stock, anchoring himself to its steel. The girl sobbed into the K9's fur, her voice breaking into fragments. "Don't choose him. Daddy, please don't choose him." The dog barked violently, a crack of sound that split the storm. Still rooted in its place, body rigid, claws carving lines into the boards, it refused to break. The soldier's throat burned. He shouted into the storm, his voice raw. "I already did. Help me. Choose. Help me. Choose." The whispers fractured and multiplied, no longer coming from one place. They slammed into him from all directions, above, below, inside his skull. His vision blurred, spots of white flashing at the edges. The boards convulsed. Pale arms clawed higher, more than before, dragging themselves halfway into the corridor. Faces pressed against the cracks, half-formed, grinning with jagged teeth. Their mouths moved in perfect rhythm, each whispering the same word. "Choose." The soldier fired. The blast tore through one of the figures, its face splitting into smoke and blood. But two more clawed through the gap, reaching higher. The girl screamed, her small voice cracking into something raw. "Don't let him find me." The soldier fired again. Another body dissolved, its blood streaking across the frost. But the chorus didn't falter. "Help me. Choose. Help me. Choose." His ears rang. His knees buckled. His chest heaved with the weight of each word. The canine barked, violent, anchoring him again. Its growl rolled like thunder, vibrating through the boards. Its muzzle snapped at the pale hands, teeth clamping down, tearing chunks of flesh that dissolved into dust. The soldier pressed harder into the rifle. His voice roared through clenched teeth. "I said no." The storm screamed louder. The voices fractured into hundreds, then thousands, overlapping until they weren't words anymore but static, distortion that shook the air. "Help me, help me, help me. Choose." The soldier's ears bled with the pressure, crimson streaks against his skin. His vision blurred, sweat freezing against his temple. His boots slid back another inch. The girl's whisper cut through the storm, soft but desperate. "If you choose him, you lose me." The soldier froze. Her words carried weight beyond fear. They were truth. She knew what this storm was. She knew what choice it demanded. The canine barked once more, sharp, decisive. Its body braced, pushing into both of them, anchoring them to the ground. The soldier steadied his breath, his voice trembling but firm. "Then I choose you." The hatch convulsed violently, boards snapping apart, nails screaming free. The entire corridor shook, dust raining from the beams in choking waves. "Choose." The command screamed so loud it cracked rafters, split walls, rattled the floor beneath their boots. The soldier fired again. His rifle thundered, muzzle flash cutting through the storm. Another face split, dissolving into blood and smoke. But still they rose. Dozens of hands clawed upward now, each pulling with relentless hunger. The dark below swelled like a tide, flooding into the corridor. The girl shrieked, pressing her face into the dog's back. "Daddy, please don't let him take me." The soldier's vision narrowed to a tunnel. His rifle emptied, spent shells scattering across frost. He reloaded with trembling hands, the snap of metal harsh in the chaos. His voice cracked raw. "You'll never have her." The storm screamed louder. "Help me. Choose. Help me. Choose." The distortion circled faster, overlapping until it sounded like the building itself cried out. The soldier staggered, ears ringing, vision blurring. His knees buckled, but he pressed his weight against the rifle, refusing to fall. The canine barked furiously, dragging him back from collapse. Its fury lit the corridor brighter than fire. The soldier roared above the chaos, his voice broken but resolute. "If you were me, would you listen to the whispers, or to the dog?" The words echoed back into silence. For a split second, the storm faltered. Then the voices screamed louder than before, unified into one thunderous demand. Choose. The board shattered. The corridor convulsed. And the soldier realized this storm wouldn't stop until he gave an answer the dark believed. The storm of whispers fractured into static, then collapsed into silence. The soldier froze, breath ragged, rifle still trained on the gaping hole in the floor. His ears rang, blood trickling from one, hot against frozen skin. The girl's sobs echoed in the sudden quiet, broken and shallow. She pressed her face into the canine's back, whispering again and again. "Don't let him take me, don't let him take me." The dog stood firm, hackles raised, body rigid as stone, growl rolling low in its chest. Its amber eyes stayed locked on the black opening, waiting. And then it came. One voice. Clear. Calm. Choose. The soldier's heart seized. His rifle trembled against his shoulder. Choose. It wasn't fractured anymore. Not overlapping. One word. One command. The boards creaked beneath him, shifting as if breathing. The dark swelled upward, curling like smoke, forming vague shapes before collapsing again. Choose. The soldier's jaw clenched. He shouted into the silence, voice breaking. "I already chose." The voice came back sharper, slicing through bone. "Then prove it." The girl whimpered, clutching tighter to the dog. "Don't listen, Daddy, don't listen." The soldier's breath shook. His throat tightened. His eyes burned with sweat and blood. He had lived by choices, left or right, shoot or don't, move or die. But this wasn't the battlefield. This was something older, something hungrier. The dark pressed higher. Two pale hands emerged, pressing against the broken boards. But instead of clawing forward, they pushed something upward. A face. Small. Fragile. The girl's face. Her eyes wide, tears streaking her cheeks, lips trembling as she whispered. "Daddy, help me." The soldier's chest collapsed inward. His rifle sight snapped onto it, but his finger froze. The child was still clinging to the dog behind him. He could feel her trembling body against his back. Yet here was her reflection, perfect, pleading. "Daddy, I can't find you." The soldier's throat locked. His knees shook. The real girl screamed, her voice cracking. "It's not me. Don't believe it." The soldier staggered, his vision blurring. Two voices now, the one behind him, small and desperate, and the one before him, identical but crawling up from the dark. Choose. The command reverberated through the corridor, vibrating the walls. The canine barked, violent and sharp. Its teeth snapped inches from the false child's face. Its growl deepened into something primal, a sound that filled the hall with certainty. The soldier's breath steadied. He anchored to the dog's fury, to the warmth of the small hands gripping his sleeve. His voice roared into the dark. "I won't choose you." The false girl's face twisted. The lips curled into a grin too wide, teeth jagged, eyes burning hollow. The whisper rose sharper. "Then you lose her." The real girl screamed, clutching at his arm, pulling with desperate force. "Daddy, please." The soldier's pulse slammed. His rifle sight stayed locked. His finger pressed against the trigger. "Choose." The words slammed again, sharper now, louder, rattling the boards beneath him. "Choose. Choose. Choose." The voices multiplied again, but now each echoed the girl's tone, soft, fragile, broken. "Daddy, don't let him take me. Daddy, please. Daddy, I can't find you." The soldier's knees buckled. His ears rang. His chest crushed under the weight of mimicry. The canine barked furiously, snapping at the hands clawing upward. Its teeth tore splinters loose, muzzle stained with blood. The soldier's voice cracked, raw but steady. You can't have her. Choose. The false child reached higher, clawing at the boards, eyes glowing faint in the dark. Choose, or I take her. The soldier's vision narrowed to a tunnel. The corridor around him blurred, the stone collapsing into one line of choice. His finger curled tighter against the trigger. The real girl's whisper cracked behind him, softer now, almost breaking. Please, Daddy, don't let him take me. His chest turned to stone. His breath steadied into rhythm. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Anchor to the rifle. Anchor to the dog. Anchor to her. His voice came low, steel. I choose her. The storm exploded. The boards cracked wide, splinters flying, dust bursting upward in choking waves. The false child lunged from the hatch, mouth wide, jagged teeth flashing. The K9 leapt, intercepting, its jaws clamping down on the figure's throat. Blood sprayed across the corridor, hot against the frost. The dog snarled, shaking violently, ripping through its form. The soldier fired. The blast tore into the false child's chest. Its body jerked back, dissolving into smoke and blood, falling into the hatch. The voices screamed in unison, fractured into fury. Choose. 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 The soldier's rifle thundered again. The K9 roared in snarls. The girl shrieked against his back. The storm collapsed into a single word, louder than the world itself. Choose. And then silence. The hatch yawned open, empty. The voices stopped. The figure was gone. The soldier's breath tore from his throat, ragged and broken. His rifle smoked. The K9 stood rigid, muzzle dripping red, eyes locked on the dark. The girl clung to his sleeve, trembling, her whispers soft but certain. Don't let him find me. The soldier steadied his breath. He whispered back, voice raw. Not while I'm here. But deep in the silence, he knew it wasn't over. Not yet. The silence after the last shot pressed heavier than the storm. The corridor lay broken, frost and dust hanging in the air like ash. Splintered boards sagged inward where the hatch had torn open, blood smeared across them in jagged lines. The soldier stood in the center, rifle lowered but still tight in his grip. His chest heaved with ragged breaths, sweat freezing against his skin. His ears rang with the echo of the command still lodged in his bones. The K9 stood rigid, muzzle stained dark, fur bristled, amber eyes locked on the hole. Its growl faded into low huffs, but its body refused to relax. It watched as if waiting for the dark to breathe again. The girl clung to the soldier's sleeve, her small hands shaking. She lifted her face, streaked with tears and dust. Her lips trembled. Is it over? The soldier swallowed hard, throat raw. He looked down at her, his voice rough but steady. For now. Her eyes darted to the hatch. She pressed herself tighter into his side, whispering softer this time, as though repeating a prayer. Don't let him find me. The soldier crouched, bringing himself level with her. His hands, scarred, trembling, rested gently on her shoulders. He looked her in the eyes, steady, unflinching. He won't. Not while I'm here. The K9 pressed against them both, warm despite the freezing air, a living barrier between them and the dark. A crack of wind cut through the broken window, snow swirling into the corridor. Dawn's faint light seeped in, painting the frost pale blue. Outside, the storm had eased. The world beyond waited quiet, untouched. The soldier's breath steadied. He holstered the rifle across his back, wrapping one arm around the girl. His other hand gripped the K9's harness. Together, they stepped away from the hatch, boots crunching through shattered wood and blood-soaked frost. The boards beneath groaned, but no whisper followed. Only silence. Still, the soldier knew better. Silence wasn't absence. Silence was waiting. They reached the door they had first entered. Its hinges sagged, frame warped. He paused there, glancing back once more. The corridor stretched empty behind them, but his gut told him the dark wasn't gone. It was buried, for now. The girl tugged at his sleeve, her voice barely audible. "Daddy?" The word caught him like a blade, sharp and unexpected. Not from blood. Not from memory. From her. His throat tightened. He forced the words through. "Yes?" Her eyes, wide and fragile, met his. "Thank you." The soldier's chest loosened. His breath slipped free. For the first time all night, her voice wasn't a whisper of fear. It was survival. The canine barked once, sharp, decisive, sealing the moment like a vow. They stepped into the snow. The cold outside cut clean, honest. Their breath fogged white into the dawn, drifting into the pale sky. The barracks loomed behind them, a husk of wood and shadow. It would sit there long after they left, waiting. But it no longer owned them. The soldier kept his arm wrapped tight around the girl, the dog leading steady at their side. Their boots pressed tracks into untouched snow, winding toward the faint glow of sunrise. For a long stretch, none of them spoke. The only sound was wind and the crunch of frost. Then the girl's whisper came again, softer now, not a plea but a memory. "It's not safe here." The soldier nodded, his jaw firm. "No. It isn't." Her hand gripped his sleeve tighter. Her voice trembled but carried more strength than before. "Then let's not come back." The soldier's eyes lingered on the horizon. Snow swept wide, endless, but light grew brighter with every step. His voice dropped low. "We won't." The canine barked once more, a steady rhythm in the silence. They walked on. The hatch stayed behind, buried in silence. Maybe the whispers would rise again. Maybe the dark would claw its way back. But for now, she was safe. And that was all that mattered. The soldier's thoughts weighed heavy, anchored to every choice he had made. Choices born from duty, from instinct, from trust. Choices that had nearly broken him. But one truth cut through it all: he had chosen her. And sometimes, that was the only choice that mattered. His breath fogged into the dawn as he whispered to himself, words not meant for her but for the quiet that lingered. "You don't get her." The snow crunched beneath their boots. The horizon opened wider. The storm faded behind them. The soldier knew the story would stay with him forever, maybe with you too. If you'd like to walk with us on more journeys, stay close.